Nice. Thanks, Dota 2. We crashed, boys. Hey, what a day. Be back in a second. Till then, Spirit up 1-0. Very decisive victory game 1 against NaVi in the semifinals of SLI League. Invitational Season 3. Generally speaking, these star ladders are made to get NaVi an invite to TI. I've experienced it. We'll see if that ends up happening here or Spirit spoil their plans. Spirit going to go for the Warlock in their opening once again, as NaVi do end up picking up the MK. Warlock definitely a susceptible hero in the safe lane to this Monkey King and his rotations. Depends who he's paired up with, of course, in the off lane, but feels like they'll need another designated support for that top lane. Not going to be applying the pressure that they were able to in game 1 with that Spiritbreaker Tusk combo. But still a very strong opening. Slardar, a hero that, is right on the cusp of being ban worthy this early and being picked up. I feel like he'll be picked quite a bit at the major just because he doesn't warrant necessarily that first base ban like a Magnus would or the ES. I mean, supports in general don't get banned all that much, but if there are any two that do, it's definitely MK and ES. Other than that, it feels like supports aren't really touched much in the bans recently. Beastmaster ban is an interesting one from Spirit. It's definitely a very, very general hero, if that makes sense. Suits his playstyle quite a bit. He's something he's quite adept on, and it felt like that, Puck was a comfort pick for him as well, but the rotations from Spirit were just, the reactions from NaVi, let's see, were just unsuccessful for the most part in game 1. And there were an abundance of reactions as well, trying to keep their Alchemist up in the mid lane. And at times they did accomplish that, but they always ended up losing the trade. BZZ absolutely free farm top lane. Never fear. Fear. That is going crazy about the delay. It'll be up in just a sec, guys. Yeah. So welcome back. Ember Spirit's an interesting pickup. I mean, it's definitely a total change of pace for NaVi. They go with the Alchemist for Dendi in game 1, whereas he can definitely get a lot more active with this Ember Spirit in game 2. A bit of an SEA type pick here with the Veno coming out. Gonna make it very difficult for NaVi to defend towers. Ember Spirit, not a hero that does that very well. Early on, at least. Plague Wards can do some definite work here. I wonder if it'll be in the core role, though. I definitely feel like the core Venomancer is much more likely than the support in this case. Support renders them very disable light. Against an Ember Spirit, that's never a place you want to be. Monkey King kind of similar in that fashion as well. Amp damage or corrosive haze, as you may know it now. Certainly very nice to have up against the MK. Spiritbreaker that they had in the last game would also be certainly helpful. Rubik pickup gonna come out for NaVi. Kind of the stable lane support. Not the greatest zoning support, depending on the offlaner, but should do just fine versus Slardar. And with the Monkey King, they have certain kill potential wherever those two roam. We'll see what the safe laner is for NaVi. With the Lifestealer out of the pool and the Juggernaut now picked up by Team Spirit, it does feel like they're limited in the way of self-sufficient safe laners. Just give a quick health check to the stream, guys. Make sure everything's running. Up one. Oh, looks like we're all right. For the trees. Looks like we're all right post crash. Okay, so here's something interesting, boys. We've got ourselves a Furion. And how is this gonna fare? In lane, very well, it feels. Thereafter, you know, once the Slardar is able to pick up some farm, I'm not sure how well this Prophet does. So is it going to be a Juggernaut mid? Is it going to be a Veno mid? Is the Veno potentially a support? Is the question for Team Spirit. I don't think that the Prophet is enough to punish a Venomancer 5-man type strat. Warlock, Juggernaut, Venomancer, excellent trio of heroes for 5-manning. Slardar helps. Generally a little more pick-off oriented, but still, I mean, Slithering Crush is a good spell. I don't know how much I like this NP. Of course, with the Monkey King, it's very nice early on, so NaVi can build momentum for sure. But it feels like NP does want to be in lane in this game, and I say that because, you know, you have a Warlock, so NP can just easily zone a Warlock out of lane. And keep him from pulling, keep him relatively low in terms of levels, which, you know, effectively delays the timing, the 5-man timing for Team Spirit. So that's a concern. If Navi can, you know, get something going with their Monkey King and TP in the Nature's Prophet, of course, there's always the potential for this to be a safe lane Nature's Prophet as well. I'm assuming he's off lane at this point, but really nice to have the units to soak up the Omni Slash as well. And kind of deal with Plague Wards. You know, he's one of the, well, is the best hero on Navi's side to deal with them at least. Ursa ban coming out from NaVi. They'll end up picking up a troll for themselves, so I really like their potential for pickoffs early. With the Monkey King, the Nature's Prophet, and potentially a Battle Trance on top of that, it feels like they really can take some map control here early on. But Team Spirit, speaking of early game, they're going to pick up the Chen here, so it is going to be the core Venomancer. And more than, I want to say mid lane Jugger, but, you know, could be the mid Venom too. So Troll likely safe lane NP to go to the top lane with the Ember Spirit middle. And, you know, don't sleep on Juggernaut versus Ember mid. Veno perhaps even better, but, you know, melee matchups with Ember Spirit, who would generally win, but when you have magic immunity that essentially deals, you know, 700 friggin' 50 damage or resistances. Pretty good tool to have. He's also kind of got the healing ward to help keep him sustained. And, you know, we talked about the 5-man potential from Warlock, Venomancer, Juggernaut. Add a Chen into that. So look for a Midas from someone of this Tricore. You know, Nature's Prophet typically builds into one. But they're definitely going to need one against the Chen. So look for at least one Midas. Oh, that was kind of odd. That was the slowest loading screen I've ever seen. Not dropping any frames here, so go to 2. But either way, we'll get into this one. As Spirit take a 1-0 lead. Ivor TP's in towards the mid lane. He's got himself a couple of wards and Sentry. on his person. As Cliff Ward going to be dropped down. Yes, I can draw on the map. Fantastic. Look at this. Awesome. Alright, ping's coming out. As Vanscore and Biver will catch glimpses of one another. And a lovely sentry coming down from Vanscore. And they actually drop one here as well from the Radiant side. So NaVi losing the war of attrition, so to speak, here early on. And this is what I'm talking about in lane, though. This is going to be a pain for Vanscore to deal with. So you see he already goes for the Windlace early on because he knows he's going to be chased down by these Treants. But, I mean, you're talking 325 move speed on the Treants here early on. FNG. He can... Let's say he can charm one of these, but opts not to. It's a 30-second CD, so he easily could have charmed one and then gotten another creep on the spawn, but I'll opt not to. Vanscore, one more ward. Doesn't look like he was scouted. So his mission has been successful here early on. And BZZ picks up the Juggernaut. Does have the Arcana, of course. So 1-0 Arcana advantage. No Monkey King Arcana. This is the new cosmetic, though. And score. Jingu mastering. No Orb of Venom. It's the poor man's shield start, which is not atypical for Seneko. We'll get a couple of right clicks off with his 10 billion melee range. OS Frog. And it is going to be the pseudo dual lane, at least for the time being, of General and Seneko. And top lane BZZ. Also already popping the preemptive Shadow Word up onto BZZ. He'll try to go for the die, will be unsuccessful, and take a good amount of right-click damage. I think this base damage from NP is always scary. He's gone for the boots first. Phase boots, early phase boots are very effective on this hero now with all that base damage he's got. But it doesn't feel like, you know, they'll be dominating this lane. Sure, they'll get themselves some farm. Vanscore will be, you know, not where he wants to be as he was last game, so to speak, but it doesn't feel like BZZ is necessarily going to die. And in the meantime, they are going to have FNG farming the woods. Already, though, with the Troll walking in towards this mid lane, and not sure that Dendi's really killable here. Pressurable for sure. Only has level 1 Flame Guard, though, so it is possible they will walk up and get the net off. Gale will connect. He's not able to dodge it with Sleight of Fist, and it does force him to skill the Sleight of Fist. So now, no Searing Chains for Dendi. Poison attack is there. They'll get the kill. FNG with the early rotation. First blood secured for Team Spirit. 1-0, as is the series score in the favor of Spirit now. And Dendi TPing in back towards that mid lane. Was having a decent time, but already doubled up in CS by Iceberg, and does have the 1 death. And now FNG gonna wrap again. Gale is gonna connect. Sleight of Fist is there. Flame Guard as well. Still though, they'll get the net off. Couple more right clicks come through. So Neko does not have. Oh, he does have a Boundless Strike. Figured he might have Primal Spring along with Jingu, as he's only level 2. We'll get the Boundless Strike off, but no slow. And Dendi actually ticks down in the meantime. Now the Penitent's up on Seneko, but they won't get the kill. They will be able to Shrine together. Oh, TP inbound General. Can he get the kill here? He does. FNG forced to Shrine out General. Finds a kill on Iceberg. Very nice for him, and that'll be his set of phase boots. So at least a return found by NaVi. In the meantime, they do bring down DK Phobos bottom lane without the Monkey King's presence. So, bit of a step far forward from the Slardar, and that'll knot things up here at 2-2 in the early game. So, Neko in trouble mid lane. Iceberg should be able to bring him down. He will get the lifesteal off on the creeps. Gale and Poison Attack won't be enough to kill him off, and Dendi will keep Iceberg at bay by popping the Flame Guard. Iceberg does not have a salve, but has 3 tangos, 1 shared. We'll drop the Gale again onto Dendi, and without the Flame Guard, Dendi is in a lot of trouble in this lane. Also skilled up that Sleight of Fist to try and dodge the Gale earlier. General now, right-clicking into Vanscore. Could just net himself the kill here. Does have the phase boots, but doesn't want to overcommit into the Blade Fury, potentially, of BZZ. General incessantly pinging on Vanscore here, trying to get this Warlock, but he will be able to Shadow Word himself up. Good hero in the early game is this Warlock, as FNG maybe even better. Finds himself a Satyr for now. Invisibility. Unfortunately, is going to aggro the Ancients with the Hadouken, and does take a bit of damage. But no disables on the creeps he currently holds, so FNG doesn't pose a major threat now. General TPing in towards mid lane, and a bit of an odd position to TP in. Seneko is level 3 on the MK, so, you know, keeping up. But still, doesn't feel like he's had a major impact in this early game. DK Phobos has had a rough early time so far, and the combination of Pycat and Biver have ensured that he stays lower on the pecking order. Mid lane FNG present, just with the Satyr though. So not the scariest hero in his current form. Dendi though playing scared, to say the least. Fireside do have some vision behind Dendi, so they don't see a Monkey King just yet. Gale not actually going to connect here from Iceberg. And he'll get BM pinged by his teammate FNG. And FNG will be retreating back into the jungle. So Chen, sitting on level 3 right now, is a bit behind where he could be. And now TP in towards the mid lane. Iceberg in trouble, does not have a Quelling Blade. General has the Sprout. Gale will connect on the 2, but not going to matter in terms of Iceberg's life. Fatal Bonds comes out. And General could be in a little bit of trouble here. One more right click from Vanscore's not there, so he'll be just fine. They'll shrine up and get maximum efficiency out of this shrine. Oh, wow. General actually does end up dropping the Iceberg, no less. So not quick enough with the feet up to the shrine. And a nice kill on the back end. Still, Iceberg, definitely worth it for the rotation in from NaVi. Dendi, though, only level 4 at this point, because of all the presence of his teammates in his mid lane. And Seneko will pick up a bounty rune. He's got his level 4 as well. Bottom lane, Radiant do have some vision here up on the cliff. And now in trouble is Phobos. Primal Spring ready for Seneko. Dire do not have vision of the MK, as he'll jump in and find the Boundless Strike. Easy kill on the DK Phobos. General even going to rotate in for this one. It looks like they'll try and bring down the tower. Battle Trance was used, however, earlier on. Meanwhile, though, they do get Dendi in the mid lane. And arguably the more important kill going to be netted by Team Spirit. They do not... They're going for the very aggressive build, though, so they don't have the Plague Wards to continue to push here. So the tower will go the way of NaVi. And DK Phobos, he's had a very rough early game, sitting on level 5 currently. As FNG will try and facilitate this push mid lane. But again, with no Plague Wards, they're just not that quick. You need either, you know, the Juggernaut or a level 6 Warlock to come in to make this push really something of note. And they don't have either of those things just yet here, 7 minutes in. Much better early game this game for NaVi than in the previous one. And TPing over to the shrine will be Pycat for now. Could make a rotation in towards mid lane. FNG is going to find Dendi with the stomp. Do they get the Gale in time? He's going to slide a fist, but it will still connect. And this Gale does a lot of damage. Dendi, he's going to end up dropping. And the build thus far is working out in keeping Dendi down. Or Iceberg. But they won't be able to assemble the 5-man as quickly as they'd like to. With this deviation from the norm in terms of the Venomancer build. Dendi poor as all hell, though. Currently 1,800 net worth to the 2,900 of his counterpart in the mid lane. And Gale, no Flame Guard available to him at this point. And the Gale is just doing a ton of damage. Meanwhile, DK Phobos finds himself some time in the bottom lane as Pycat made that rotation over towards the jungle top. And he'll find his level 6, which is all important for Team Spirit to have. Buff up their Juggernaut quite a bit in fights. Look at Dendi. I mean, he's forced to retreat to the jungle here. Does have the, oh wow, gets his last hit stolen by the Wrath of Nature, but it'll also net the kill on Vanscore top lane. BZZ, he's still pretty healthy. Snako rotates in. He has the Omni Slash available. Does he want to pop it here on General? And he does. Cuts in, but actually gets bounced off towards a tree end. DK Phobos nearby under the cover of fog. Maybe looks to turn this, but unable to do so with the Omni Slash already expended. So first Omni Slash of the game to no avail, utilized by BZZ. Does have a Mango, has the healing ward up as well. So we'll be fine to stay in this lane as Shrine pop mid lane, Iceberg. Alongside DK Phobos, maybe looking for Dundee once again. Could be looking to defend their top lane as the tier 1 very healthy still. Rotation over from FNG as he's going to walk this way, like Aerosmith told him to. Pycat with the fervor stacks already. Biver in a precarious position here. Reveals himself and now up the hill with 2 centaurs goes FNG. Penitence is there. 1 stomp, 2 stomp. Hadouken is going to be used. BZZ finds the kill and that'll stop the push just with 1 hero rotation. DK Phobos trying to flank from the south as well, but immediate back away with the phase boots from Pycat will secure his safety for the time being. Vanscore finding some time in the bottom lane is looking to eclipse that all important level 6 milestone. And Dendi is finally level 6, but his counterpart in Iceberg level 8. With the 4-4-0-0 build thus far, Iceberg still a very scary threat. As DK Phobos bot lane gonna run at Seneko. Seneko will find himself a nook in the trees and walk up towards top lane where BZZ should be just fine. Has a Mango. He's gonna drop the Boundless Strike first, but yeah. Oh, the bash, though. He finds it. Pycat. 10% bash chance. Working out for NaVi there. And unfortunately for BZZ, he's going to end up dropping 6-6 here. 10 minutes in and more than a kill a minute, as we expect from CIS Dota. Bot lane tower very healthy for the Radiant side, and the opposite eliminated for the Dire. Team Spirit. The Chen has worked out for them, but the 5-man overall just really unable to assemble just yet. Seneko looking to farm up a stack here. Has some vision nearby, has some allies nearby, so feels pretty safe to do this. Pycat gonna push in top lane. Meanwhile, this is not the greatest trade here for Team Spirit. Now, that is a Troll Warlord top lane. He's gonna stack up the fervor pretty quickly. And so they will bring at least BZZ in, but he is not playing with any sort of confidence in this top lane. And yeah, they will get the tower bottom lane, but this top lane tower is not a good trade. And Omni Slash jump out onto Seneko. He will be able to get down from the trees. Now BZZ, he's used his spin and his Omni. Chaotic Offering is not going to catch anyone from the Dire side. They may find Biver, who gets the telekinesis up, does get Galed, and will get killed off by the Crush. But everyone else able to vacate the top lane. FNG a little bit late to the fray, will recall his creeps in, and General looking for the courier gets hasted and he will not find it. Battle Trance just a second too late from Pycat to help out his comrade. But overall, very good trades for NaVi here. You know, Iceberg, he can't do the General Veno thing when he's out of position and a fight begins. He can't be pushing towers elsewhere. He needs to be in the fights with his build thus far. So they will look to 5-man though with the Chen. And Nature's Prophet will try and drag the creep wave away from the tower, but still an army of creeps here for Chen. Penance onto Biver. He gets the D-Ward. Gale connects onto 2. Hadouken is there as well. Nice Boundless Strike through 2, though, and the Monkey King ultimate's going to come out. They're going to blow him up with the Wrath of Nature. FNG is there in trouble. They get Penance off onto Dendi, but he's got a haste rune and will be able to back off to safety. Team Spirit going to walk away under the cover of the healing ward, which was stolen by Biver. Very nice to have against the Poison Nova. And into the Roche Pit they'll go with the Troll Warlord. They know no Chaotic Offering is available. They know this Slardar does not have a blink here, as he had a very rough beginning to this one. DK Phobos will try and find some farm bottom lane. And Iceberg, with no Poison Nova, will make a TP over to the Shrine, but not going to be able to contest this Roche. And makes his way into the jungle. scan, though, by the Radiant did, it seems like, momentarily find Iceberg, and they will get the telekinesis back onto him. Drum is going to be popped, but Iceberg not near enough to throw out those melee or range whirling axes, it seemed. Could have been close. Either way, would have been fighting into that tier 1, into Hand of God. See, Hand of God on cooldown here for FNG. But again, they'll assemble the 5 men, even into the Aegis here for Team Spirit. No Poison Nova, no Chaotic Offering, no Hand of God. No fight. DK Phobos does find some space, though, in the bot lane. Now only 400 gold away from that Blink Dagger.
Regeneration.
And in the meantime, Dendi does find a kill onto Phobos, and it's a costly one. They get him bot lane. Apologies for the T-Tours, guys, but that is right near the Blink Dagger mark. DK Phobos. Meanwhile, Pycat mid lane does have an Aegis, so really doesn't care much about fighting into this. Primal Spring going to come out. Boundless Strike just on the edge, going to connect onto Iceberg. They get the healing ward off. It's a little far away, though. Now Omnislash going to come through. Pycat does have the Aegis, but he's isolated out. Saneko gonna pop the Wukong's command. Blade Fury will be there though. Gale and the Poison Nova, they will spare no expense to bring down Pycat, and will be successful in doing so. 100 gold gonna go the way of Saneko as his ultimate brings down the Golem. But this could mean a tier 1 mid lane. However, Healing Ward is down. Troll Warlord up soon. Boundless Strike does connect onto BZZ. But it will be the tier 1 to fall in the mid lane. Vanscore to pick up the last hit. DK Phobos still stalking on the high ground, looking for someone to come out. Saneko in trouble. He's going to fight. Oh, nice telekinesis from Biver. Gale, though, does connect onto 2. Stolen Crush is going to connect onto Phobos, and the Remnant will bring him low, but he gets the stick charges off. Sprints away. General, though, 1 right click, 2 right click does find the Slardar on the back end. And now Iceberg, he's amped up on the Stolen Corrosive Haze. Oh, it's Ice Armor. What am I talking about? Come on, that was close, guys. I could have been... I don't know how they found him without vision, but they'll bring him down. Again, you can report me, but you probably don't have any reports left, so... Saneko doing very well for himself in this game. Has eclipsed all 3 of the 3, 4, and 5 position heroes from the Dire side in the way of net worth. And we know how scary this hero can get once he picks up a Basher with that Wukong's command, especially into heroes like Juggernaut. We already saw him get bashed during a TP spin out top lane. Heroes like Chen and Warlock want to be on the back lines. They get caught with that big radius ultimate. That could spell doom as well. So NaVi looking a lot stronger in this game too than they did in game 1, and they will be able to bring down the tier 1 mid lane. Saneko going to try and find some vision as it is daytime. So pretty good vision here for him alongside Pycat, but no one gonna take the bait just yet. BZZ continuing to farm up top lane, looking for a Manta style. Still doesn't have it. He's well behind where he'd want to be at this point. And the Midas ticking away for General, even out of that off lane. He's now 2nd overall in net worth, as Nature's Prophets tend to be up near the top of that in the mid game. Battle Trance, no response from the Dire side, as their tier 2 will be eliminated. And this is looking like the reverse scenario of game 1. Jump forward from DK Phobos. They're going to find Dendi, but he gets the Spirit off in time. And has another. He's slowed currently by the Gale. Will get another Remnant off. Puts one up to the high ground. Still feeling pretty safe. DK Phobos has vision of him. And meanwhile, over on the east side, Chaotic Offering is going to be dropped onto a couple. Biver, he's going to be the first to drop. Pycat in trouble. Has the Shadow Word ticking away on him. Now Mango popped up by DK Phobos. Does he get the Corrosive Haze off? He does. Will get his Blink canceled, though. And General going to come through with the Sprout. They do have a blink in just a second for DK Phobos. Pycat, though, very fast with the Yasha. They will find a crush onto General. They continue to press forward here. Iceberg still has his ultimate. Really wants them to fight in. Penance going to be popped off onto NP. Meanwhile, mid lane being pushed in by Dendi. And with a tier 2 still up, bot lane, no wave nearby. Team Spirit going to have to back off. Dendi finds himself some farm in the meantime. He's got himself a set of travels. Got his Veil. So it is a bit late, but has the essentials now. Seneko top lane looking for Iceberg. He's all by his lonesome. Now General will join him. He'll pop Wukong's command. He misses the boundless strike, however. Iceberg throws out the Gale. Actually does connect with the Gale with Seneko. Poison Nova, though, won't kill him off as he'll make it back to the fountain. And that's a Poison Nova off the deck now. For the dire side, it's also their tier 2 top lane. And that's only one outer tier tower now left for Spirit in this mid game, as NaVi take full control of this one. Take a look at the metrics. They've mounted about a 5k net worth lead and 3,000 in the way of experience. Meanwhile, top lane, General joined up by Dendi with the boots of travel, and DK Phobos going to be brought down. Simple slight chains combo, it seems. General looking into the Orchid build, it seems. At this point, going to be very nice against the Warlock if they can find him, and even the Juggernaut. But he did pick up a Manta fairly soon. Yeah, so he's got a Manta here, so not necessarily maybe that effective against the Jugger. But pretty much every other hero really worried about being silenced by Team Spirit, on Team Spirit's side. Use the Boundless Strike bot lane, but FNG, no one else nearby, so...
A soldier's fortune.
Spirit are seemingly at a loss here with what to do. They do have some deep wardage down, you know, to kind of facilitate these pushes on these towers, but they just can't assemble them. As Seneko in general have done an excellent job of picking off heroes anytime they're by their lonesome. And now that Dendi, we saw it for the first time top lane, has, you know, his essentials and the Veil travels, he can start to join up with that crew as well. And the momentum staunchly in the favor of Navi here. Dendi, though, nearby, gonna get scouted here. DK Phobos, does he want to go in? He finds the crush onto Dendi. Omnislash is there. Chaotic Offering as well. He dodges it with the Sleight of Fist, though, and will be able to make it out towards the west. DK Phobos does get connected on with the range. Whirling Axis, nice play by Pyke. I gotta keep him from blinking forward. And now Dendi is gonna survive. Meanwhile, Seneko in general, that tandem, gonna find a kill on to FNG, and that's a dominating streak going their way. They do find the crush onto General. He'll be the return kill. But still, Dendi survives. Seneko survives here. He's looking into a Desolator for his squad. General on the silence for 40 seconds. Perhaps means this tier 2 goes down, especially with the deep ward vision that the Dire was able to attain a couple of minutes ago. Still, though, does feel like Team Spirit taking a backseat. Jump forward. Crush is going to find Rubik. Fiver. He's going to steal the Corrosive Haste, throw that back onto DK Phobos, and now the Remnant almost killing off DK Phobos. Meanwhile, on the north side, Poison Nova is going to catch Pycat. Plague Wards are there. He's pretty slow. Meanwhile, Seneko on the backlines is going to find himself another kill onto DK Phobos, who was low from the Remnant from Dendi. Dendi finds a 2-man chains. Get penanced up, though. He's got no Remnants. Could be in trouble. Corrosive Haze just expires now onto Dendi. BZZ chasing him down. Will find him with the Blade Fury. And the Venomous Gale will connect onto Seneko as well. Iceberg trying to walk forward to find Seneko, but Pycat looking to turn through, gets a melee or range Whirling Axis through 2. And now Iceberg in trouble with the Battle Trance. He's going to get dropped. BZZ has a spin in a second. Fanscore with the optimistic TP out will be dropped. Needs a bash from the first hit from Pycat. Won't find it. And now TP out from General will find FNG. And just overcommitment from Team Spirit. 17-11. They're in a lot of trouble in this game. Seneko and Biver TP out to the shrine. They do end up getting the tier 2, but a minor consolation prize for the overall result of that fight. Seneko now mid lane, jumps up, Boundless Strike, and the Orchid Sprout onto DK Phobos. Does have the Quelling Blade. It is going to be veiled up. Slight chains, though, will not connect. As Dendi just a fraction of a second too slow on his Searing Chains there. They will, however, get the tier 2 for it. They know there's no Chaotic Offering for at least another little bit. 35 seconds on the Poison Nova as well. We'll see how aggressive they want to get. Telekinesis up onto BZZ. He'll get healed up and will pop the spin. Sprout will be there from General. Meanwhile, on the west side, they find the hero teeping in towards the shrine. That's DK Phobos. And this could mean a high ground push, potentially. General going to go up towards that top lane, though, for now. Feels like General should have more gold.
My thrift rewarded.
10,000 net worth. Okay, well, right about where he's at.
Pull roots and run.
Smoke up with their cooldowns now up again. And if they were paying attention mid lane, they should have seen those Manta illusions. Now Pycat up on the high ground. Instant spin from the Jugger, and this smoke attempt essentially going to be thwarted. Seneko going to try and find some information for his team. Team Spirit going to back out. And Dendi, meanwhile, pushing out the bottom lane as General just finished pushing out the top lane. Seneko continuing to play that mobile ward for his squad. Dendi bot lane, DK Phobos stalking, but doesn't have anyone nearby. Iceberg under the cover of an invisibility rune. Maybe walked over sentry range there briefly. Vanscore, or Seneko probably had a glimpse of Vanscore. Gonna primal spring down. A couple of right clicks with the battle trance. Oh, the hand of God keeps Vanscore up for now. He has a primal spring up again. Doesn't want to use it. Will back off to the west side. Up on the cliff. And gonna meld himself as a tree now. General finds a sprout on the south side onto FNG. Get the Orchid off onto him. They'll kill him off. And no real fight of consequence happening in the top lane. Vanscore forced to use the Shadow Word as top lane. Dendi putting some punishment into the tier 3 will be forced to remnant out. So Seneko still causing tons of havoc here. And not far away from his Desolator, he'll bring down the Roche and a creep camp or two, and we'll have it. Might even just kind of sell the Poor Man Shield and pick up that Deso at this point. Paw's going to come out from Vanscore. And it looks like NaVi in position to knock this series up 1-1. As they look to bring down the Roche here. Reconnect coming out from Vanscore. High ground is certainly no easy feat for NaVi. But with an Aegis on Pycat and, you know, the Nature's Prophet units, it feels like they can just throw him high ground. It makes it very difficult for them to initiate on him with the Omni Slash, you know, with all the Nature's Prophet units. He's got a Manta as well. So difficult to kind of constantly corrosive haze him and initiate with the Slardar. So NaVi well within reach is this game for them. Greaves gonna come out soon though, so you know, Hand of God, Greaves, Chaotic Offering, Poison Nova. Again, high ground, no easy feat, but you know, NaVi, they've got the luxury of having a Nature's Prophet and an Ember Spirit, and what that means is they can push all 3 lanes in simultaneously. As Dendi, will see him make his way towards the bottom lane. Looking for a Blink Dagger, can pick it up from the side shop if you'd like to. And will do so. They're kind of just going to play the control route at this point, where the Monkey King is more farmed than him. Seneko has had a whale of a game on this Monkey. Basher Deso at this point. And it's a hero that sometimes you tend to ignore in the team. Like, they will find Dendi bot lane, though. Omni Slash... Crush will be enough. Meanwhile, top lane, General finds the Orchid onto Warlock. However, TP inbound from BZZ. Oh, the Boundless Strike is going to miss, and they do find the Chaotic Offering onto 4, but that's basically just a dead Golem. As immediately, NaVi will turn and find all of them. Now, Desolator out onto BZZ with the Basher as well. Vanscore going to be bashed up. Crush finds 2, but there's no real follow-up. Iceberg does get the Poison Nova off. General, he's dropping low pretty quickly. Meanwhile, on the north side, though, BZZ in trouble. Gets the Omni Slash off. It's being soaked up, though. Seneko still standing and fighting strong. Does end up going down to the Test of Faith. And now, even under the spin, Poison Nova will kill off the Rubik. And the backline's torn apart by Iceberg and DK Phobos. I say no real follow-up, but Iceberg shows up in due time with that Poison Nova. Connects onto 3. Pycat now in trouble. FNG does not want any part of this, at least not by his lonesome. We'll get the penance off. They'll block him in with the Plague Wards. There's the Gale. BZZ, he's going to Quelling Blade his way through and gets the crit for the kill onto Pycat. BZZ killing spree, has Blink Manta Diffusal now if he wants it. Dendi back into the fray after dying bottom lane, and it was a really nice backline flank from DK Phobos and Iceberg, but it's also just NaVi fighting without Dendi. They just lost in bot lane, and General immediately goes in top lane, you know, knowing that some heroes are not present, trying to bring down the Warlock, but the TP comes in from BZZ. They kill off the Soneko Monkey King, don't take too much damage from that Wukong's command. And it's signs of life here for Team Spirit. You know, we talked about high ground being difficult for them. The Chaotic Offering, I mean, that was in no ways an ideal fight for Team Spirit. The Chaotic Offering was essentially a waste. FNG bot lane showing no one nearby to punish him for it. Does have the Helm of the Dominator as well for that extra creep, looking to finish off the Greaves and should be able to do so soon. So that self-purge going to be really nice against the Orchid of the Nature's Prophet. It really means he doesn't have all that many targets to go on with the Orchid, as there's a Manta on the Juggernaut, Greaves now as well on Chen. Soneko though drops the Wukong's command. There's the Boundless Strike. A couple right clicks will kill off the Chen, and Holy Persuasion stolen by Biver. Gets one of the creeps, but may just end up paying with his life. Not sure Rubik was even really needed for that kill there, but he'll end up paying. Soneko hanging out nearby. Meanwhile, though, General and Dendi back to work top lane. They find the most important kill, perhaps, for this high ground defense in Iceberg's Venomancer. Meanwhile, though, Soneko, he's found out bot lane, and there's just action everywhere. Primal Spring out from Soneko. DK Phobos, 5 seconds until he has a blink, and the Monkey gets the Boundless Strike off, going for the TP, and he will make it. Beautifully played by Soneko. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they at least get a fairly significant amount of chip damage done onto this tier 3. Nicely played by NaVi across the map to stymie the bleeding there after that Chen pickoff. Just losing Biver, getting the kill on Iceberg top lane. Still though, Spirit, you know, they force Soneko back to base. They defend top lane without having to buy back Iceberg, so either side fairly happy with that trade. Invis rune for Dendi, no sentries nearby for the Dire. BZZ, not the easiest target to go on, of course, with the Manta and the Blade Fury. But Vanscore, on the other hand, the TP in from General could be in a lot of trouble. He can just take a Veil, Chains, Triple Spirit Bomb, and potentially just die here. Sentry, though, dropped just in the nick of time. Dendi, he's going to try and dodge out with the Sight of Fists, and will be able to Remnant away. But that sentry for Vanscore, potentially life-saving. Just looking to ward the cliff there, potentially, but he does end up spotting out Dendi with it. Greaves completed up for Chen. Any other items of major consequence in this one? 3 Midases on Spirit side. Really looking to try and get back into this game. Shadowblade going to be there for the Slardar fairly soon. Hurricane Pike we saw a while ago, but there is a Force Staff on Vanscore now as well. So these heroes are going to get a little difficult to kill. Jump forward from Dendi. He'll Slight and likely just Remnant away here. Pushing in the lane. Looking to pick up the Maelstrom actually here. Certainly nice against the Chen. Nice in general against heroes that tend not to build BKB, and really Slardar the only one who's a kind of perennial BKB builder. Bot lane Soneko just dealing with the Juggernaut illusions. Looking for a Blink Dagger of his own at this point. High Cat, top lane, pops up the Manta. Looking for his BKB, gets to work on the top lane tier 3. We'll just put in a very little chip damage into it. But meanwhile, they've got the tier 3 bot lane, and with the battle trance, they'll look to take out the shrine here. Split positioning as well, so if the Shadowblade Slardar comes in, it's very difficult for him to crush them all.
This will come in handy.
No Shadow Blade actually completed yet for the Slaughter, so still 400 gold away. Can sell his Stout Shield, so close, very close. As he picks up the wave bottom lane, he'll be able to have it. Could be really nice for them to catch the back line once again, as they did top lane. Was easily the most successful moment of the game for them. Pycat does have his BKB now. Iceberg though. Meanwhile, they find Dendi in the mid lane. And I'm wondering how. They get the Poison Nova off, and I assume he just died. Orchid. There it is. Completed up by Iceberg. That'll net him a kill. 4 staff, Orchid, Poison Nova. Seems good. Dendi gonna drop now bottom lane. General nearby. DK Phobos. Had his blink canceled by the one right click, but you know, this is a sprinting Slardar. Sprout is there. Can he find him? DK Phobos does not. General makes the TB out. Pycat, meanwhile, did complete up his BKB. So once Dendi is back, you know, when Roche is up, Aegis and BKB, they have more than what is necessary to look at high ground here. They do have a double damage rune on the troll as well. If Seneko in general, you know, maybe Dendi can find a kill elsewhere, Pycat can certainly push down a melee Rax by himself. Blink out bottom lane from the Juggernaut. And Seneko will jump forward. Top lane tier 3 in quite a bit of trouble here. Sitting at about 10% HP is deniable, but why would you ever deny that? 1 minute till Roche is up, and NaVi will certainly keep a close eye on it. DK Phobos gets the crush off, trying to find Seneko. Do they, though? Spin is there as well. He will be able to hop over to the east. Primal Spring away to the south. OS Frog. Meanwhile, top lane, Battle Trance is going to be popped up, and they do get the kill on the Warlock, as well as the Iceberg Venomancer. And it is just action across the map with NaVi. As soon as Seneko goes in somewhere bottom lane, he's really just been a pest. General and Dendi are able to find someone elsewhere. If Dendi gets caught, Seneko in general are able to find someone elsewhere. They do find a pick in the meantime on Biber, which may stymie the high ground push. Shadowblade away from DK Phobos keeps him safe for now. Remnant forward. Oh, the crush was used as well. Meanwhile, on the north side, they do end up finding the kill onto the Chen. And into the tier 3, NaVi will go. DK Phobos, he's able to make it away over to the east, but 2 lanes of Rax being pushed here simultaneously. Top lane will be the first to fall, even through backdoor protection. Now the wave now coming in, so a bit of misfortune there for NaVi's side, and without Dendi. NaVi will back out and go for the safer play, which is this Roche. Pycat just putting work in here. Will find himself an Aegis, so Manta, BKB, Aegis. He's got everything he needs to look at high ground here. Seneko has the cheese on him. He's level 22 on this Monkey King. He's alongside all the other cores in the game. And we talk about kind of the blurring lines between 3 and 4 position heroes recently, but I mean, Seneko is a full-fledged core in this game. Butterfly completed up by BZZ. Very effective against the build of the Troll Warlord so far. So BZZ could be pretty darn difficult to kill here in this upcoming fights. They don't quite have the magic damage to burst him, even only at 2k HP. So I really like that item decision there from BZZ. Still though, game, you know, the map is heavily tilted towards Team Spirit side. Everything funneling in towards their base. Even if they're to win a fight. I mean, there's a tier 1 up in the top lane, tier 2 in mid lane. So it is a steep and tall hill to climb. But, you know, we talked about 3 Midases on Spirit side. Shadow Blade and nearly, you know, not nearly, but on the way to a BKB for DK Phobos. Mid lane. Stalking Dendi once again. They do have enough to get the crush off. Jump forward. Omni Slash. Oh, nice Boundless Strike from the backside. Wukong's command is there. And not really necessary, but Soneko keeping his Dendi Ember Spirit alive. No immediate response from General +1 as we've seen so many times. And that's basically because Soneko's behind Dendi there. But that's the reveal of the Shadow Blade. So Dendi going to feel a lot less safe now to farm the lanes. But he'll be aware of that at the least. General has a BKB of his own and an AC at this point. Very farmed on the Prophet. So 2 BKBs on NaVi's side. Omni not even used their mid lane. I wonder if they get that kill on Dendi if it was. Would have been close. A lot of units around. BCZ still very farmed, not at all forced to be overlooked here in this game. You know, Pycat has kind of gone for the end game build, end the game now build, I should say, in the Manta BKB. Wants to be able to siege high ground. Does have the MKB though. Immediate response to BZZ's item progression. And really, Team Spirit have no great way with this build. You know, they have Butterfly Mantas, which aren't bad, but they have no great way to push out these lanes. Meanwhile, Dendi with a Maelstrom. You know, Nature's Prophet just generally speaking doing his thing with his tree ends. Pycat's just kind of always sitting in a lane.
I deserve this.
So, again, always feels like the map sort of tilted in Team Spirit's direction.
Well.
General, 2,900 gold in his pockets as well. And at the very least, just go for a Moon Shard. You can also upgrade to the Bloodthorn, which is really nice with a Troll and an MKP on your side. So probably the more likely decision. Soneko under the cover of smoke just has his popped. Does have a Blink Dagger, but will back off to safety until he's joined up by General at the very least. Again, they do have the Aegis in hand. Oh, it's actually expired. Oh, okay. Why doesn't that show on this screen? Huh? Eh? Alright. Aegis reclaim now. So NaVi won't necessarily get use out of it. Pycat showing top lane, but does have the Blink Dagger, so makes it back out to safety. DK Fopo stalking under the cover of Shadow Blade will not be able to find the Troll. Though, Pycat not going to hang around. Do I have anything for the Warlock? Does have a Plate Mail, so going for the Lotus Orb. And purge off the Orchid, which is certainly nice. Not that much in the way of single target. Rubik lifts himself.
Double damage.
Maelstrom now picked up. I talked about their inability to push the waves out. This will help quite a bit. So it really doesn't feel like NaVi have the lead that they did 10 minutes ago. And I mean, the metrics tell that story. It's kind of hovered at 10k for, you know, the last 8 or so minutes, and hovered at 5k in the way of experiences, which is, you know, a little less relevant if you look at the spread in terms of hero levels. No one had any major, pretty much everyone above 20, and no one quite yet at 25. DK Phobos, we spotted here briefly. Soneko nearby under the cover of Mischief. Didn't even find him for that second. Mid lane pushing in though, so NaVi well aware Spirit is out and about and looking for blood. General, he's going to be forced that forward by Vanscore. Beautiful play into the Diffusal Blade. They get the Orchid off onto BZZ. Upheaval is there though, and he's forced to pop his BKB. Boundless Strike is going to whiff, and they get the Omni Slash off. It's bouncing off towards the creeps though, and now BZZ, he's off on his lonesome here on the west side, and he's going to be pincered in by 5 heroes. Jump forward from Dendy. He finds the Searing Chains, but the Hand of God and the Manta are there. And he will get recalled to base by FNG. Lovely play, but now they're completely on the retreat. Vanscore in trouble. He'll be dropped. Dendy has a blink soon, it feels like, and he does. Jumps forward onto FNG, gets crushed up. Primal Spring will be there, catches BZZ. BZZ is going to look to right-click and gets bashed on top of the spin. Shrine is there momentarily, and they can't continue to chase down, but now DK Phobos in trouble. Iceberg does get off a nice Poison Nova, and a double buyback coming out now from the Dire side. Everyone looking to retreat. Dendy off to the west. Seneko, he's the last man standing, it seems, for NaVi, but they're more than happy to expend him for what's going to be 2 buybacks, though. Shadow Blade from DK Phobos, Blink out from Pycat. They definitely have this shrine available, as they haven't been anywhere near this side of the map in a long time. And DK Phobos out and about looking for blood. General is going to be found out by DK Phobos here, and they do have the Diffusal Blade there as well, but a jump forward from Pycat. He's going to Orchid up DK Phobos as well, who's sprinted up and taken a lot of damage. And Pycat, nice toggle into the range form, will find the kill. There's still a tier 1, mind you, here top. So DK Phobos not in the clear, or DK Phobos, BZZ not in the clear just yet, will flutter up. Walks over by the wave. And General TP in. Miss on the chains from Dendy, but they do find the Sprout. BZZ, no TP in his backpack, will Manta away and get forced out by Vanscore, so he'll be just fine for now. But it is a dieback for DK Phobos. 60 seconds on the sidelines, no potential for him to come back into the game. Iceberg, 18 seconds until his Poison Nova. And this is what this kind of lineup can do to you. Just split all 3 lanes. In the meantime, Pycat will work. Bot lane gets the range racks before there's any response. Mid lane tier 3 in a little bit of trouble. 36 seconds still. No Slardar. Force forward onto Iceberg, and he gets off some pretty hefty right clicks. And with the static charge from Mjolnir, will kill off Ember Spirit. So Dendy ends up dropping. And there is just no telling how this game is going to go. Pycat nearby bottom lane. Ivor is alongside him, and they will be able to get him out. Don't get the melee racks, though. That will regen over time. So still, 3 melee racks is at least standing here. We talked about the difficulty of breaching high ground against this squad, and it has certainly proven to be exactly that, difficult. So now 2 Mjolnirs and the Vlads. Even if they lose a racks here, Team Spirit can certainly deal with super creeps. Ags is up for General. So even further going to keep the waves pushed in, and does end up getting the tier 3 here. Shrines have been eliminated for quite some time now. And here comes a Roche, 3rd of the game, I believe. Maybe even 4th. Yeah, Cheese was already picked up by Seneko last time, so I say 4th Roche of the game. And another Aegis, this time on Seneko, though. The Aegis, as Pycat gonna look to complete up his Scotty shortly.
Excellent.
Doesn't feel too risky to forego buyback here, as they do have outer tier towers up. But for now, he will keep it. Picks up the 20% magic resistance at level 25. Up against the Veno, really no surprise. BZZ with the 20 agility. Seneko level 25 as well. Just crazy farmed. The General. Alright, so he goes for the Ags. Gets the real beefy Treants. Just keep these waves shoved at all times. Again, though, Team Spirit have ways to deal with this. Both their main cores in the 1 and 2 having Mjolnirs. Jump forward, they are going to find Biver. Dendy pretty much just has to run, but they don't know what's uphill just yet. Chaotic Offering will be there. He'll find Dendy. He'll zip away and has to continue remnanting. The Lincoln Sphere keeps him safe for now. Does have a cheese as well. Will be able to blink away. Meanwhile, bot lane General X out that melee racks. Does find it. And top lane, Soneko jumps in to find himself a range rack. Gets the Boundless Strike off, but he's probably going to die here. They'll spare no expense. That is just an Aegis, but meanwhile, General working on mid lane. They still trying to bring down Soneko. General, with all the big tree ends, able to take a full lane of racks mid. In the meantime, they do get Soneko off the Aegis top lane. General, he's going to look for the TP out. No Basher available here. They can't kill him off. Chaotic Offering already used top lane as well. And Pycat gets Mega Creeps top lane with his Blink BKB. Likely just ends up dying for it. But they do get Megas. Is Megas really enough, though? Is Megas really enough? It's definitely a big advantage. This is a lot of golden XP. You know, 3k net gold, 4k net XP. And that's without the earlier Dendi kill going the way of Team Spirit. So it's not over just yet. That is, again, Aegis used for Team Spirit. No buybacks expended as far as I can tell. BKB completed up as well. 10-second BKB for DK Phobos, so over just yet. FNG is, you know, some sort of force at keeping the wave shoved out, but then this happens. And it's pretty obvious Spirit are looking to fight with the mid lane pushing in as it is. DK Phobos now going to show his face, and that'll mean top lane NaVi going to queue up the aggression. They find Iceberg, but don't get the chains off in time. I think they may have just whiffed on it. Scan is going to find Vanscore. General going to TP forward. Trient is going to scout him out. 4-staff from Vanscore, but Sprout is there. Nice Lotus Orb as he targeted it. Going to keep General at bay for now, but Vanscore may just end up dropping. Now jump forward with the Omni Slash. General in a lot of trouble. He's got his units nearby, but the Mjolnir will finish him off regardless. Godlike streak for BZZ. And now, you know, with the Prophet down, they don't have anyone pushing elsewhere. Dendi was nearby top lane as well. So they gain nothing in the way of damage on the tier 4s. 86 seconds on the sidelines for General. BZZ thinking about looking to continue fighting. Can't do it at the moment. Jump forward. Boundless Strike will find him. They'll telekinesis him up as well. BZZ, they'll bring him down. Battle Trance was there, and the right clicks from Soneko and Dendi were enough. Big kill to find, and this will mean a guaranteed buyback from BZZ. With the lanes pushing in the way they are. Vanscore looking for the TP out. It will make it. Chain's not there from Dendi. Do they buy back General here? It feels like if they can catch a hero at all, he needs to get right into the fray. And go for the Moon Shard for himself relatively soon as well. Feels like Navi just want to force out this buyback from BZZ and back out. See what they end up doing. Searing Chains do catch on to FNG. They'll force staff him forward. But he is fine just for now. Crush was used from DK Phobos. Jump forward. Boundless Strike connects onto 2. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Wukong's command. Hand to God. Not enough to save them. Chaotic Offering will connect on the 4. They buy back onto BZZ. DK Phobos pops the BKB. He's a little bit difficult to kill off. The Crush will not connect onto Dendi, and he will pop the cheese, but it looks like they'll still be able to bring him down. General, not sure if he buys back there or just respawns. Yeah, it looks like he just respawns. They do get some kills mid lane. Nothing done on the tier 4s. It cost them a buyback on BZZ, however. And it looks like Navi are, you know, not ecstatic, but fairly happy with that. They get the buyback out of BZZ. They know if they can kill him now, that it's essentially game during the next 5 minutes. Or 6 minutes, I should say. This will mean he has to play quite a bit more in his base. You know, not jumping out with DK Phobos to try and find kills as they did on General top lane. So Navi's still pretty comfortable, but Dire Courier actually brought down perhaps by General. Not sure how it died. Could have just died to the wave. Looks like they're expecting a ward here, so it died around this position. But there is no ward, really. 1 minute respawn time on the Veno could certainly help in the kind of engagements. DK Phobos, he's level 25 as well. Just for the 10% bash chance. Really nice versus the Ember Spirit, potentially 35% bash chance on that starter. FNG though, top lane, he's gonna drop. Does have the minus respawn time, but still 30 seconds on the sidelines. Meanwhile, BZZ and DK Phobos, have they been scouted by Seneko? Jump forward, they are gonna find the Crush and the Orchid off onto the Troll Warlord. They'll pop out. He gets off the BKB, and DK Phobos, he's taking a lot of damage from Wukong's command. Gets right click down from the Troll. Omni Slash going to find pretty much entirely Seneko. Does end up getting him the kill, but BZZ in trouble. He'll die. And we know he has no buyback at this point in the game. Dire side, 3 heroes, no buybacks, no BZZ. Looks like Navi will take this game too, barring some major missteps from their part, and they will find Iceberg. And that is going to be GG. Towel thrown in. Pycat triple kill to finish it off. And we're going to a deciding game 3 to see who goes to the grand finals in this EU qualifier, guys. Exciting stuff from Navi. Pretty valiant attempt at high ground. They definitely had the lineup, to facilitate that. For Team Spirit side, but eventually they were overcome. Pycat able to do enough damage. They really moved well around the map, Navi. Much like Spirit did in game 1, but having all this mobility with the Ember Spirit travels, the natural mobility of the Monkey King, and the TP of General's Nature's Prophet, they were able to just find trades across the map throughout the game, and General got extremely farmed. One fight they essentially lost but gained mega creeps, and that's where Team Spirit become a lot more predictable in where they have to be in the map, and that's defending their base. So nicely played by Navi. They'll close this one out in just under an hour, guys, and we'll be back for game 3 shortly in Starladder I-League Season 3 EU qualifiers. This is a semis winner, going to go on to the grand finals.